What if our organizations could be 21% more profitable without making any major technology investments at all? Would that be interesting?
Yes.
What if our people would be 17% better performing? And what if our organizations would have 41% lower absenteeism, 59% lower turnover? And what if our employees would be happy to take 2 less leave days every year and work an extra hour every week? Does it sound like a miracle? Maybe magic? It is not a miracle, and it is not magic. It is measured in meaning. So there's a engineering manager I was working with a few years ago. His name was Ahmed. And he loved his company, loved his team, really enjoyed what he was doing, had some great ideas for how he can improve the project management portfolio of his organization, so he applied for the job of project manager. And he was denied the job. And so he became a little bit marginalized. He felt excluded. He felt like he'd been passed over. He became disconnected at work, and he became really disappointed, deeply disappointed, to the point where a few months later, he started to look for a new job, and he found one. He did. He went to another company as a project manager, which is exactly what he wanted. But the other company that he went into was very different from the company that he left. Suddenly, he was working 12 to 14-hour days. His health started to give way because he wasn't exercising anymore. His family was complaining because they weren't seeing him on the weekends or during weeknights. And it was really challenging for Ahmed to adapt to this new normal of his. It was so challenging, in fact, that after only 6 months, Ahmed asked for his old job back. Now, his old boss was really good, so he invited him back, yes, as an engineering manager. He didn't get the promotion that he wanted, but he came back as an engineering manager, but it didn't matter because Ahmed had learned for himself something that was really important, that there was much more to life than the paycheck and the job title. So he was happier being an engineering manager. He loved his team, loved the work, and he actually ended up performing better. He was more productive because he was happier and more energized. He was more focused, and guess what happened? He got the promotion anyway. It wasn't even a year later that he got the promotion to project manager, and now, about 4 years later, he's the project director in that company. He's happier, healthier, and he's spending more time with his family. And I think that's an amazing thing, but that's because Ahmed had learned through that difficult experience something that the majority of our employees know already, and what was published by Harvard Business Review not very long ago. And that is that meaning is the new money. How much money? Well, the Better Up study and Gallup studies that I quoted before showed us that our employees are willing to work for 23% less money if they're working in a job that they find meaningful. Now, it's a lot, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I know you're all HR professionals. That is not an excuse for you to pay all of your people 23% less. That's not cool. Don't be mean, okay? But the irony is that those same studies showed that even though our employees are willing to work for 23% less lifetime earnings, if they're working in a job that they find meaningful, they actually get paid more, which is what Ahmed learned. Those employees that are finding meaning and connection and empowerment and engagement at work, they're actually performing better. They're more productive. They get more opportunities for promotions, more opportunities for raises than those around them, and they live happier, healthier, longer lives. Yes, we as HR professionals have the ability to lengthen the lives of our employees by providing meaning at work. How is this done? Well, I've been running some experiments over the last few years, and I've figured out a couple of great keys that work. They work for guys like Mark. Mark is one of my executive coaching clients. I started with him at the very beginning. He's a VP in his organization. At the very beginning, on the first day, we clarified Mark's vision, mission, values, and goals for his personal life and where his job role fit into that. Within 6 months, Mark got a raise, he got a promotion, he finished his PMP certification, started his MBA, and he's spending more time with his family. And I think that's an amazing thing. But it's not just individuals that are benefiting this way. It's also entire organizations like the Al Masood Group, which many of you know, they're based here in Abu Dhabi. I have been doing their leadership training for the last 4 years, I have taken 200 of their top executives and senior managers through my business's personal program, and the results are fantastic. During the COVID pandemic, when many of their competitors were receding, laying people off, cutting expenses, the Al Masood Group was expanding. They were grabbing market share and winning global awards in their industries. And the internal ROI, the direct ROI on the training program itself across 10 business units in that group was calculated at 814%. Miracle? Magic? No, it's just meaning. So how do we give people meaning at work? How do we help them to connect with their jobs? I want to give this to you today because this is really important and I can do it in 5 minutes. I want to make a difference in your life, particularly today. So I want you to forget for a minute that you're an HR professional. Forget your job and think about your life. You all have very personal goals for your life. So what is it that you want to accomplish? You want a good quality of life for your family? Great. You want an amazing career path? Awesome. You want a nice house and a nice car and vacations every year? That's great. You want good education options for your kids? That's perfect. That's exactly what I want you to think about. Think about your personal goals. And now remember, the job you have is not just a job. It's half of your life. You will spend a third of your life sleeping, and of the 2/3 you spend awake, fully half of that time you will spend at work. It's not your whole life, but it's not other than your life either. It's about half. And I think anything that you do with half of your life should be meaningful. Don't you? Do you agree? I'm not willing to waste half of a human life today. And neither should you. So I want to give you these 2 tools for meaning. Okay, we're going to answer the 2 most important questions that you or any of your employees will answer about their work. And that is question number 1, why are you here? And question number 2, why are you here? Let me explain. Okay, they sound very similar, but they're not the same. The first question is, why are you here and not somewhere else? So you're smart people. You could be working for any kind of organization, any kind of company in the world. You're really well qualified, very well educated. You could be working for 1,000 different companies, but you didn't choose any of them. You chose this one. Why? Well, my idea is that you're not a victim, you're not a slave, and you're not an idiot. Okay? You chose this because, well, first of all, this is the direct result of every decision you've ever made in your entire life, and you made a deal. The organization invited you to join, you joined the organization. You made an empowered deal, so you're not a victim. Secondly, you're not a slave. You can leave whenever you want. At any moment, if you feel the deal isn't good and you want to move on to some other deal, you can move. That's fine. And thirdly, and most importantly, you are not an idiot. I'm willing to bet that when you think about your personal goals, right? Nice house, nice car, good career, you want education options for your kids, think about your personal goals. This is the best, fastest, most effective way for you to reach your personal goals for your personal life. Because if there was a better, faster, more effective way for you to reach your personal goals for your personal life, you would be doing that. Because you're not an idiot. But you're not doing that, you're doing this. Which means this, excitingly enough, this, whatever you're doing today, this is the best, fastest, most effective way for you to reach your personal goals for your personal life, and that is why you are here and not somewhere else. That's good news. Am I right? What about the second question? Why are you here and not someone else? See, we're all very unique individuals, but we're not that special. There's 10,000 people out there with your CV. They've all got great experience and great education, and none of them are sitting in your chair. Why is it you and not someone else? Oh, it was good luck. Oh, I knew the right people. No, that's not true. That's not true. What's really true is when we look at the way that we do our recruiting in organizations today and be honest with ourselves about that process. What do? We advertise a post. This job has come available. And then we take 500 applications and push them through the ATS, and it kicks out 50. that are the most qualified. And then we take those 50 and we sort them down to 10 that are the most qualified people. And here's the key. This is important to know about human organizations. We don't waste our time as professionals interviewing anyone that's not already qualified. Why would we interview them if they're not qualified? So every person we interview is qualified for the job, which makes it really important to recognize that we don't actually hire qualified people. Because if we did, then all we'd need to do is take those 10 most qualified people, pick a random CV from the deck, send out an offer letter, and hope for the best. It's more efficient. But we don't do that. What do? We talk to them. We take the 10 people that are most qualified for the job, each and every one of them is qualified, and we talk to them. Why? Because fundamentally, we are not looking to hire qualified people. We are looking to hire a kind of qualified person. Fundamentally, because we are a human organization, and we've been doing this for hundreds of thousands of years, we chose you not because of your CV. Your CV got you the interview. It was your character that got you the job. That's why they picked you, and that's why you're here, and not someone else. Does that add a little layer of meaning to your life? Does it help you to see your role as an HR professional a little differently? Do you feel the impact of that? That's what I can do in 12 minutes. Imagine what I could do in 3 days. That's meaning at work. That's the core of my book, Business is Personal, which is extremely inexpensive, and you can get it on Amazon cheap. So if you want all of this information, it's here. You don't need to talk to me about this. You can get it all very inexpensively. And I'm going to give away 20 copies of my book during lunchtime to anybody that has a really good question about meaning and engagement at work, because I think that is the most profitable thing that we can actually do for our people, is invest in meaning and engagement. Measuring engagement is important, but it's only important because the engagement already exists. And the engagement only exists if it exists in the dark, when nobody's looking, when your employee has access to all of the resources of the organization and nobody's watching over their shoulder, and that's when they're deciding what to do with that little section of their life. Are they going to help the organization? Are they going to play for the team? Or are they going to help themselves? That's meaning at work. It's the most profitable thing that I've ever seen in business. And that's all I wanted to bring to you today. I've got 7 minutes to take your questions. Anybody have any questions about meaning or engagement at work? Sorry, I can't see very well.
We're getting the handheld mic.
Oh, okay, good.
We have a question here on the meaning of work. Did someone put their hands up, or should I just see?
Thank you, Corey.
My pleasure.
I think we all now overwhelmed with what's happening with the world right now, especially around the cultural transformation part.
Yeah.
And meaning engagement is at the heart of it. It always stuck my mind to think about what is it that would ignite the engagement of employees. I don't know. I know that there is no one single recipe ready to do any cultural transformation.
That's right.
But I'm just asking the way you simplified it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Astonishing, in fact.
Thank you.
Is there any simple how-to to ignite that drive, engagement at the workplace?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the very, very good news. The very good news is that there is a very simple path forward. Like what I did at Serco. Okay, Serco is a large organization, 70 years old, 40,000 employees around the world. I took their top 55. I had them for 2 days. All we did was we talked about the business's personal paradigm. We talked about their why they show up to work every day, right? Because most of our employees, they show up to work every day not because they're passionate about the products and services that our companies or our organizations represent. They show up every day because they're passionate about the people that they work with and their reasons for being there. That's the reality. That's the majority of them. So if we can help our people to be clear about their reasons for showing up to work every day, and if we can help them to be connected with the 5 to 7 people that they work with closest in the organization, the what doesn't matter. Most humans, most of the time, will be very happy picking up garbage for work as long as they understand why they're doing it and they like who they're with. That's how we're actually designed. That's the clear path forward. Why and who. The what will disappear. If your people are being distracted by the what of their doing, then they're concentrating on the wrong things. They're not as engaged as they could be. They're not finding the meaning that they should be. They are not performing as well as they could be, and then you are not as profitable as you could be. The secret to all of this is if we help our people connect with the who and the why at work, they live healthier, happier, longer lives, and we make more money. That's the reality of it. That's the science. We've measured that. We know the impact of it. And the very simple thing is, it's not just empathy, it's empathy and clarity at the same time. It's the who and the why. Good question. Next. Please. It's good to see you again.
Thank you, Dr. Corrie. It's an interesting session. You mentioned the meaning, and we need to understand how do we look at the meaning if we have several processes, and how do we connect that one piece of a process in the holistic view?
Yeah, ask them why they're doing it. And then keep asking them the why until they answer for their family or for their career. You got to get to the why. Look, the impact of all this, I didn't tell you this part, but the impact of getting to the why, of why employees show up to work, and the impact of getting to who, connecting with the people that are around you. At Serco, the example that I just brought up, we moved their employee engagement number from 69 to 82 in less than 60 days with only 2 days of conversation. That's impact. Does it make sense? Why? When we have these conversations about your reason for working, right? And again, it's not a job. It's half of your life. And if it's going to take up half of your life, it should be a meaningful half. And that is true for you, and it is true for every employee in your organization. And if you agree with me, the path from disengagement to meaningful work is very simple. Be clear about why you're there. Understand that if there was a better way afforded to you to do what to accomplish your personal goals, you'd be doing that. But you're not doing that. You're doing this instead. And now that you're here doing this, recognize that we chose you. We chose you to play on our team in this particular game, this big social game. We picked you not because of your CV, but because of your character. You're here and not someone else because it's you and not someone else. See, these things that are, the words that are coming out of my mouth, very simple. They're a little bit elegant because I've been doing this for years, right? But they're very simple. And if managers learn to have these conversations with their employees, the profitability of the company goes up because the performance of the employees goes up. And the employees themselves get more opportunities for raises, and they get better salaries, and they're also healthier, happier, and they live longer. Like, how can we not win with this? It's an amazing piece of science. If anybody, by the way, is interested in the science behind all of this, please connect with me. I'm very happy to share with you all of the research and the impact statements of what I've been doing in organizations around the GCC over the last number of years. I'm happy to share it all with you. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your life with you. For sharing a little bit of your life with me, because you will never get this time back. We don't know how many days God has given us in our lives. We just know that once they're gone, they are never coming back, including this one. So I hope it was as meaningful for you as it was for me. Thank you so much.